You hear the word entrepreneur thrown around all the time, right? But what does it actually mean? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain and really dig into the mindset, the history, and the incredible impact behind this one powerful idea. Let's get right into it.
Okay, so let's start with a quick question for you. When I say the word entrepreneur, what's the first image that pops into your head? Is it some tech genius in a hoodie, coding the next big thing? Maybe someone pitching their heart out on a show like Shark Tank? Or is it something closer to home, like the person who owns your favorite local coffee shop? Just hold that thought for a second. We're about to see just how deep this idea really goes.
See, being an entrepreneur, it is so much more than just a job title on a business card. It's a mindset. It's a totally different way of looking at the world. I've seen problems not as dead ends, but as opportunities. And honestly, it's this very mindset that has completely shaped our economies, our societies, and yeah, even the device you're watching this on right now.
All right, so to really get a handle on this, let's start at the beginning. In this first part, we're going to unpack the core idea. What is an entrepreneur really? And what on earth drives someone to take on such a crazy path?
You know, the word itself gives us a massive clue. It actually comes from the old French word entreprendre, which literally means to undertake. And I just love that because it's all about action. It's not about daydreaming. It's about being the person who actually takes on the messy, difficult, challenging task of making an idea real. At its very heart, it's a word about doing. So, what fuels all that action? Well, it usually boils down to one of three key things. First up, you've got that powerful, almost primal desire to be your own boss. To have that autonomy, to be the captain of your own ship. Then there's the incredible passion to bring a personal idea to life, to build something from absolute scratch that you just believe in with every fiber of your being. And of course, let's be real, there's the goal of financial reward, the drive to see a direct benefit from all the risk and all the effort you put in.
But our idea of the entrepreneur didn't just pop up out of nowhere. No way. It was shaped over centuries by some really brilliant thinkers. So now let's take a look at the intellectual blueprints they laid down, the very ideas that define how we see the entrepreneurial mind today.
So the first, and maybe the oldest archetype, is the entrepreneur as the ultimate risk taker. This is the person who looks at total uncertainty, something that would make most of us freeze, and they willingly take that leap into the unknown. And this idea isn't new at all. It goes way, way back to the 18th century, to an economist named Richard Cantillon. He was one of the first to really pinpoint this. He saw the entrepreneur as the person who buys things at a known price today to create something they hope to sell at a completely unknown price in the future. They are the one who personally absorbs all of that risk, all of that uncertainty. But just taking risks, that's only part of the story. The next major archetype is the entrepreneur as the innovator. This isn't just about gambling. It's about being a genuine force for change, the person who shakes everything up by introducing something new and disruptive. And the guy who really championed this idea was the economist Joseph Schumpeter. He had this amazing term for it, creative destruction. For Schumpeter, the entrepreneur was basically the hero of the whole economic story. Their innovations intentionally destroy old, clunky industries to build something new and better in their place. I mean, just think about how Netflix completely wiped out video rental stores. That's creative destruction. And for Schumpeter, that's the engine of all progress. And that brings us to our third archetype, the opportunity maximizer. This view goes beyond just pure risk or wild innovation. This is about a sharp, strategic mind, the ability to look at a world in flux, at constant change, and not see it as a threat, but as a massive opportunity just waiting to be grabbed. The legendary management thinker Peter Drucker was all about this. He argued that entrepreneurship isn't some kind of magic, it's a discipline. He said the true entrepreneur is always scanning the horizon, always looking for change, and always asking that one simple but powerful question. How can I turn this into a real opportunity? So, we've talked about who they are and how they think. But why does any of this matter? Well, let's zoom out for a second and look at the huge impact entrepreneurs have. They are, quite literally, an engine for society. It all creates this incredible ripple effect that starts with just one idea. An entrepreneur starts a business, right? That business creates jobs. To stay competitive, that business needs new solutions, which drives innovation. All that activity boosts the national income. And as they're creating new products for us, they're also creating whole new support industries. We're talking suppliers, marketing agencies, logistics companies, and maybe, just maybe, the most important thing they do is inspire the next person to try, starting that whole powerful cycle all over again.
Now, to really see that ripple effect in action, let's zoom in on a real-world example. We're going to take a look at the unique and pretty fascinating entrepreneurial journey of one nation in particular, Malaysia.
Malaysia's story is a really cool evolution. It kicks off with formal trade way back in the 15th century. But then the colonial era comes and dramatically reshapes the economy, often creating divides. After independence, though, the nation really started to take control of its own economic destiny, with these super ambitious plans like Vision 2020, actively trying to build a new future. And that journey is still going, with a clear goal to become a top-tier entrepreneurial nation by 2030.
Okay, for our final section, we're going to explore one of the most powerful motivators out there, one that goes way beyond just making a profit. We're going to talk about the deep, profound connection between entrepreneurship and faith, where doing business is seen as a higher calling. From an Islamic perspective, entrepreneurship isn't just a financial transaction. It's seen as a truly holistic endeavor. It's not siloed off from the rest of life. Instead, every single business decision has to be deeply rooted in a complete framework of faith, sacred law, and just unshakable ethics.
And this whole framework rests on three core pillars. First is Aqidah, which is faith. This is the core belief that your work is a sacred duty and that you're accountable for your actions. Second is Sharia, the law. Think of this as the rule book, making sure everything you do is lawful, or halal, and that it doesn't cause harm to anyone. And the third is Akhlaq, which is ethics. This is your moral compass, demanding honesty, trust, and total fairness in every single deal every time.
So what this means is that a Muslim entrepreneur is really defined by these characteristics. They stick closely to Islamic principles. They see it as a duty to give back to the community through charity and zakat. They have to uphold fairness and trust with their own employees. Their work itself becomes a form of worship. And through it all, they maintain this strong hope and reliance on God, a beautiful concept known as tawakkul.
So, when you look at it all, from the risk-takers of the 18th century to the innovators of today, and seen through the lens of economics, culture, and even faith, you realize the definition of an entrepreneur is always changing, always evolving. This story is far from over, which leaves us with just one final question. What role will you play in writing the next chapter?